Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dorian Show. Another solo pod. Can you guys do me a favor? You guys are watching this and you guys are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the YouTube or the Spotify or the Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys are listening this to. And I want to thank you guys for your ears and your eyes and your hearts and your love and your hate, maybe. I also got a new blog going on. I wrote something about Caitlin Clark last week. You guys should check it out. Subscribe to that too. And if you guys don't ever want to give me feedback and stuff for like my terrible jokes, my boring podcast, or my really bad writing, you could just leave the comment below here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, or you could just message me on Instagram. Also follow me on Instagram. It's listed below. I was last week I went and did the Flappers comedy contest, Mr. Clyde's comedy contest. And dude, it was pretty fun, you know, like you'd be surprised how much of a live audience in a comedy club helps, you know. I only did like 5 minutes and I went close to dead last before the pros came on. And dude, just being in a room of 30 people and getting real laughs from people that I've never heard my jokes, like it felt really, really great. It feels great. I can't even explain when I'm on stage. I very like vividly like remember some lady laughing really loud in the front. But besides that, it was all kind of a blur. Like I thought I did well. I walked off. I was like, I did good, right? I laughed. People laughed, right? But then like looking back, I honestly can't remember. Like if it was just like a couple people laughing in front or the whole place was laughing. Like it's a very odd experience. It kind of just feels like I was in a trance. But yeah, anyway, I was on this comedy contest with my bud David, and we brought one of our friends, Fonz. Shout out to Fonz, thank you for coming. And the whole idea of this show, and it's good on Flappers, it's a really good way to get people to come in to watch unknown comics and at the same time get a good show. Like basically they say like they make the contest and they say it's fan voted, meaning not fan voted, audience member vote, meaning people in the audience get to pick like who is the best comedian of the night, and then the best comedian gets like $100. And I think that's a very clever way to, you know, not force people to bring people, you know what I mean? Like a lot of clubs, and not to hate on them, you know, you gotta pay the bills, but a lot of bringer shows are like, hey, you need to bring a minimum of 3 to 4 people or you can't get on. But Flappers found a way. They're like, you don't need to bring anybody, right? They encourage you to bring people to the show, and if you bring enough people, those people might vote for you. You might win $100. So that's a very smart way to fill the room. I do gotta ask people, like, I wonder if there were any times where they did that contest and the room was completely empty because all the comedians are jaded and they're like, I don't care, I'm not bringing anybody. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing, like I knew it was a contest that was voted by the audience, and I only brought one friend and I shared that guy with another comic on the stage, and I'm just like, fuck. I hope I win. Like I think I'm good enough to place top 3 spots, and surprise, I did not. And I knew I wasn't gonna place top 3 because I didn't basically only brought one person. There's no way I would win. But it hurts so bad. I was like, oh, I thought it was good enough that maybe some other people might vote me, put me up in the ranks, and yeah, it's weird. It's weird knowing that there's no chance you would win, but like coming out of it bummed out because you're like, there's a little glimmer of hope that maybe I did well enough to, you know, get some recognition by other people that don't know me. But that didn't happen, and it felt terrible. And I don't know. That's a weird feeling, but yeah, still shout out to Flappers. I had a great night while I was on stage. It was a great night. Off stage, great night. Beforehand, great night. But people that won also deserved it. Kind of fun. You know, they're all funny. They all had funny stuff to say. I didn't feel like I was robbed. I was just upset that I didn't make it. I'll definitely do it again. You know, I mean, I like flappers because at least they give me opportunities to get on stage where I haven't found that anywhere else so far, besides Bringers or a show that my friend got me into. Shout out to Shane Orabani. Got me onto a show last year. But yeah, like comedy is kind of a weird thing to me. Like today's a Sunday. Well, you guys will probably watch this tomorrow, Monday, but today is Sunday, and I just woke up and I didn't really feel like going to the open mics, but I decided to. I dragged my butt out there to Glendale, which is not close. It's like 35 minutes away from where I live, and you know, I got there. I was like, oh, what am I doing there? But then, like, slowly the room grew. Like, there were more. I mean, everybody was a comedian, but like, it was a pretty decent room today. It was like maybe 20 people. Sometimes there were more people that show up, but today it was 20, which some people might think it was a light room, but it was fine. I went dead last, and I gotta say, when I had the feeling that I was going to go last, I was like, oh my God, why am I here? Why am I here? But the odd thing is, like, right when I got up, like, I felt fine. Like, once I started telling my jokes, like, it felt pretty good. I didn't kill or anything. I got a couple of laughs, maybe a couple of big laughs, or maybe that's all in my head. And it felt great. Like, I was like, man, good thing I came. Like, I'm so glad I came out and did comedy, even though I didn't feel like it. And I think that's like a lot of things, right? Like a lot of things that you don't want to do. Not you, me. I only can speak for myself. Like a lot of times I don't want to do something. Sometimes I would be lazy and like don't want to go to the gym. And every time I go to the gym, I'm like glad I went. I've never been to the gym. I was like, oh man, I should have stayed home. This was a bad idea. Like, this has never happened before. Like, I've gotten injured lifting weights because some ladies like start swinging weights around while I was bench pressing 225, and I hurt my shoulder. And even then, I was like, I'm still glad I came. You know, walked on the treadmill a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I only do like half a workout, and I'm still glad I went. And that's kind of like comedy for the most part. No, there are certain times where I show up, I'm like, why did I come out here, dude? This was such a waste of time. I suck. I'm gonna quit. What am I doing here? But not today. Today I went to Glendale Room. Shout out to the Glendale Room. Dude, I mumble a lot, huh? Sorry to everybody listening. Went to the Glendale Room. I felt great. But oddly enough, when I like went off stage, I don't know, I felt like an adrenaline dump. Like seconds within that happening, and I just felt like empty inside. That's so sad, huh? Which is a crazy feeling to go through. I went from like not wanting to go do stand-up, going there and be like, oh, this is going to suck, to be like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I came. This is such a great time. And then all of a sudden just like, well, that was it. It really made the drive over to Ross to be very, very difficult. I was like, I got to go to Ross to get a tie. And dude, Ross sucks. I know a lot of people say, oh, you can get good deals. You can find like really nice stuff at Ross. But Ross is probably the most depressing place I've ever been. Like I went, sure, you could get like really nice sneakers for like $4, but you got to wait in line for like 3 hours. And I don't know if that's worth it, but I had to go get a tie because I'm a gentleman, and that's what gentlemen do. You get a tie. But yeah, but going back to flappers, dude, like sometimes I don't know if you guys think this, but sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I could like do a business where it's like I could run a comedy, like a little comedy club, and make good money, and I would like in my head kind of what do you call it? Like just go through different ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do this, and then I'll cook outside in the parking lot, and get people to buy stuff, and it'll be great. I I'd have a bunch of stage time, and then I realized it's so hard to get a business. Right, rent so high, I can't afford to buy a building. Food costs so much. Perishables are not something you want to have on hand. You know what I mean? Things could go bad, and you could be poor in no time. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Days after flappers, dude. The other day, dude. Me and my friend, we've been eating a lot of Korean barbecue. Dude, Korean barbecue is probably one of the best things ever in LA. Like I grew up in San Francisco, and there's a few places with Korean barbecue, but they're everywhere out in LA. And shout out to the Koreans and the barbecues, dog. We went, me and my friend and I, we went to this one Korean barbecue called Moon Barbecue, and let me tell you, dude, I've never experienced this place before. Like, first of all, like everybody there was like Latino. The people, everybody, 99% of the people eating there were Latino. The staff was like Latino. It was like FUBU, dude. You know, it was, for us bias, it was FUBU Korean barbecue. Except for the boss. I think the boss was some like giant Korean dude. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of, you know, Latinos and their giant Korean overlord. But besides that, like, it was cool. You know, I was like, man, this is like one thing like I love about LA. Like different cultures are like out there mixing and matching. You got Korean barbecue run by Mexicans, and everybody eating there's Mexican. They're like, yeah, we're gonna eat someone else's cuisine. Dude, I gotta say this Korean dude is like he's like the Henry Ford of Korean barbecue, man. I walk in there, his whole thing is about like, you know, oh no, my mom's calling me. 1 second. 我錄緊嘢，一陣間 call 翻嚟啊！我錄緊嘢，一陣間 call 翻嚟啊！我錄緊，yeah， 我錄緊嘢，拜拜。Dude, my mom just FaceTime me. What a sweet lady. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this guy was like the who do I say? Henry Ford, the Henry Ford of Korean barbecue, dude. He's all about efficiency. You know, you walk in there, he makes you pay up front because it was like, he's like, just give us your money, tip up front. And I was like, yo, I don't know about this, dude. But we did. At first, I didn't like it, but I understand it was just such a great way to do it. You pay up front, give him the money, right? And then you go get your own banchan. You guys don't know what banchan is? It's like the little side dishes at a Korean barbecue. And they have a great selection of banchan, even better than some of the other places that I've been to, you know what I mean? Like they have all the varieties, all the pickled veggies that I like. I only eat vegetables if they're pickled, by the way. You know what I mean? They had the freaking pickled cucumbers. They had like two different types of radishes, like the white radish where it's like strips, and also like the flat purple radish. The mashed potato was powdered, I'm pretty sure, but it's fine. But yeah, it was good. And then, you know, you just go get your own food. You get as much as you want of this banchan. And they have 3 tiers of meat, so it made it affordable for like everybody. And it was cheap. And they made it cheap because it was run like a well-oiled machine. Just looking at back at it, I was like, dude, this guy's such a genius. Like me and my friend were like a little like giving them side eye because they're like, at most Korean barbecue they have like other hot side dishes like steamed tofu or like corn cheese, you know what I mean? You could just get it unlimited. But like this place, they're like, you only could get it once. And I was like, dude, well, that's such a weird thing to try to, you know, be cheap on. But I realized it's because those things need to be cooked in the kitchen, and they don't want the guy to just keep cooking. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking like in there, they're just carving out meats just to get you in and out, dude. But man, dude, what a ingenious idea. Shout out to Moon Korean barbecue. What else here? I had to go to Kaiser recently. And dude, let me tell you, like, the healthcare in America does suck so much. It sucks so bad that like we might as well just have universal healthcare. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a big fan of like government controlled goods and services, but I'm like, Kaiser is basically the DMV now. You know what I mean? Like I went there and like I have like really bad elbow pain. Like this was like a couple months ago. I played basketball and I couldn't straighten my arm out for like a whole week, and I'm like, that's not good. Like I probably have some tendonitis or like a small tear or like something, and I'm like, this is bad. And I'm having like shoulder issues, because I've been lifting so heavy. And I was like, you know what? You know what I'll do? I'll go to Kaiser because I have healthcare that my job pays for. And I go there, and then the doctor was like, oh, she was running some tests. She's like, hold your arms up. And then she's like, I don't think anything's broken. I don't think your rotator cuffs are torn. I don't think this and that. She's like, how about we just have you do some physical therapy before we do anything else? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, dude, I couldn't bend my arm for a whole week, and I could still feel like when I hyperextend my left arm, like I could feel like the soreness, and I'm like, I know something's wrong with my body. Like I need help. And she's like, yeah, we can give you some physical therapy. And guess what? It's been a week, and the physical therapy department hasn't called me yet, so now I have to hassle them. And I get what Kaiser's trying to do. They're what they're called. I don't know what the H stands for anymore, but it's like managed care, health managed. What's the O stand for? I don't even know. Health managed care or whatever, right? So they do everything by efficiencies. Good for the Korean barbecue place, but like terrible for healthcare. This lady was giving me what do we call it? My freaking blood pressure. And I had like 122/80 or something like that. And that's like, what is it? It's high blood pressure or something. Pre-something. I don't even know the word. Pre-something, which is bad. And I'm like, oh shit, am I going to have a heart attack? Like, should I get like a heart scan? Because I know a lot of like rich health gurus say, hey, you should probably go get like a heart scan so you can see if there's like, if your arteries are clogged up. And if like there's calcium in your heart, so you could like go and get some meds or have some life changes and before you have a heart attack. And I was like, hey doc, while I was waiting for you and I saw this recording, and I think how can I get like a heart scan? Because it says it's still within the normal range, but it's still high. It's pre something. I forgot the word for it. And she was like, yeah, we don't do that here. I was like, what? And then she basically explained to me like how Kaiser works. She says, if your cholesterol is at a certain level, it's almost a guaranteed chance that you will have some sort of blockage in your arteries, right? So it's by the numbers. She's like, data says this. And then I'm like, well, how do you know when to treat someone? And then she says, and they have so much data, and I guess Kaiser's so big, so their data is pretty good. So she basically says, she's like, if you have a higher than 5% chance within the next 10 years of having a heart attack, we'll put you on medication right away. And I was like, geez, dude. Like it all comes down to a number, and I guess 5% is a pretty good number, pretty good threshold, right? So if you're 6% chance of having a heart attack in the next 10 years, just put your meds. But I'm like, what if I don't need meds and you just put me on meds? Or what if I need meds and you don't put me on meds? Like I'm like, I want the option to be able to scan my little loving beating heart, But you can't do that, and I'm like, if you're not gonna give me that anyways, like why am I still paying for healthcare? I'm not doing it through work, but I'm like, we should just give everybody healthcare. If it's just such, you guys will have even greater numbers, right? If the government controlled it, they have all the numbers, even though a lot of people in the government can't do math. I'm like, why don't you just why don't we just have government sponsored healthcare? Because it's clearly not working. My job is paying so much money to Kaiser. I think because where I work, the company is so big, like the premiums are just expensive. I think they pay like $800 a month, and that's like $96,000 a year. Like, how much do you think a calcium heart scan would cost? You know what I mean? Like, it's not $10,000. You know what I mean? I'd rather you just, or why don't we just get rid of like health insurance? You just give me all my money back, $800 a month, and then when I want to go get a heart scan, I'll be like, oh, here's like, I don't know, like $1,000, $5,000 maybe. It's still better than $9,000. I could just take care of it myself. I don't know. I don't want to be political, guys. I believe whatever you guys believe. You know, at one point I did have PPO insurance when I was a child because my dad had a respectable job. And I remember getting injured. I dislocated my kneecap, and he had PPO, really great insurance. I didn't need to go see a primary doctor. I went straight to some guy who was like, "Hey, I was the surgeon for the U.S. ski team," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool, dude." And I was like, "Hey, my knee hurts," and he puts me. His MRI machine was like a couple doors down, and then within an hour, he's like, "All right, you got dislocated. You could do surgery and never play basketball again." I was like, nah, dude, I'm going to the pros, buddy. And I was able to get surgery in like within 2 days and just go home and just, live my life as a young boy with great health insurance. I don't know. I feel like I might die. Like if you need Kaiser in emergency, like you might die. Like they're good at giving you the basics, getting you your appointments, getting all your test stuff. But like if you need something, they're like, nah, you're going to have to go. You're going to have to, lift up your arm and stuff, or primary care doctor see, then go to physical therapy. And then if it doesn't work, they'll send you to a sports medicine guy. So before you know it, it takes like 4 months for them to tell you your arm's broken when you knew it immediately because you can't bend your arm. But yeah, so that sucks, dude. I don't know. Dude, you guys watch the UFC 300 and on this, I've been rambling a lot. 300 is almost proof that the UFC is such a great company. You know what I mean? Like they don't need big stars like Conor McGregor to hold them up, dude. You know what I mean? Like there will always be new stars. Fights will always be exciting. It was just so crazy. Let me see this. Oh man, where are the results, dog? Air. Might have to cut this out. Oh, here. Dude, even the early prelims were good. I'm going to go through some of these fights real quick, dude. First fight of the night. Early prelims. First fight of the night, Cody Garbrandt versus Davison Figueiredo. 2 previous championship belt holders, dude. And I got to say, dude, I love Cody Garbrandt, but I feel like he hasn't won in such a long time. Like he won the belt so early in his career, and like after that he was just getting like knocked out and stuff. It was hard to watch, and Davison is just a totally different beast. You know what I mean? Like Cody is just so fast. I always think he has a chance because he's so fast and he's a good boxer, but I guess boxing's not enough if you get choked out, dude. Getting choked and having to tap. What else was good? Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Dude, Kayla Harrison. One jack lady, dude, and just watching her fight Holly, it was kind of sad. Holly Holm, what a big name, dude. She was the first person to knock out Ronda Rousey, dude. The head kick heard around the world, and she just got ragdolled by the jacked Miss Kayla Harrison. It was kind of crazy. Kayla Harrison is I think she's like an Olympian for judo, kind of like Ronda Rousey, except she's way better. And not like a diss to Ronda Rousey, but talent has just evolved so much since then. And Holly Holm tried to grapple with her, and I was like, "What are you doing, buddy? Don't do that." Yuri Prochavska and Alexander Rakic was also a freaking great fight, dude. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you talk about technicalities, right? Rakic was like beating up Yuri, and Yuri's leg was like busted up, but at some point she was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna walk into the fire and try to knock this guy out, dude. And he just he basically walked forward and just swung with all his might, and jeez, dude, he knocked out Rakic, dude. It was crazy. No technique, dude. He was just swinging. He was like, I'm losing this fight, I need to knock this bad boy out. What else do I want to talk about? Charles Oliveira, my boy. I love that guy. Versus Arman Sarukian. Dude, this was such a close fight. Charles lost and he deserved to lose, but he almost choked out Arman like 3 times. He ended the fight with a choke and he still lost, which was a bummer. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, dude. Me, like, basically, this is like a basic stuff to say. Obviously, like, me and everybody else in the world like love Max Holloway, and I think we all kind of felt like Max Holloway's career was on a downturn when Alexander Volkanovski like beat him 3 times in a row. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, dude, I love Max, but it's done. And he's fighting against Justin Gaethje, who's a knockout artist, who Justin Gaethje basically just knocks out all my heroes. You know what I mean? He beats head kick Dustin, knocked him out. I think he knocked out Tony Ferguson. Oh. Dude, all my heroes, man. And I'm like, damn, dude, I don't want to see Max get knocked out. And let me tell you, dude, Max, what a gangster. Max was beating Justin Gaethje the whole time, dude. He was just piecing him up, boxing him up, winning every single round, you could arguably say. And with 10 seconds left in the 5th round, dude, and I'm sure you guys seen it. And if you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch it, dude. Max Holloway was just like, here, come meet me in the middle, and we're just gonna swing at each other. Like, even though I've been winning all 5 rounds, I'll give you a chance to knock me out, which is an insane thing to do because Justin Gaethje hits very hard, and like Max could have lost it all in that last 10 seconds, but a miracle happened. The knockout, probably one of the best knockouts I've ever seen in my life. Max Holloway dropped him, dude, knocked him out, dead cold, folded Justin Gaethje like a chair with 1 second left in the last round, dude. And there were still 2 more fights after that. It was crazy. Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan, 2 Chinese female fighters. You know what I mean? Chinese on Chinese crime. Not a big fan of it, but that was a crazy fight too, dude. Weili is so good. I think in the first round, she like choked out Yan Xiaonan. And I'm pretty sure the other girl like went to sleep, but because it was the end of the round, she was able to get up and move on. And I think after that first or second round, Weili was like gassed, dude. She was getting beat. And I was like, dude, this is not good. Like, I can't believe the champ's going to lose because she almost gassed out from trying to choke this lady out. But, you know, when Zhang Weili pulled it off, you know, the last couple of rounds, she kind of just grappled on Yan Xiaonan, just kind of laid on top of her, and she got it done. Last fight of the night, Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill. Dude, Alex Pereira is such a scary guy, dude. He's just out here beating up people, dude. So this was such a crazy fight. Like, it was like at one point he got like kicked in the nuts, and the ref tried to stop it. The ref was like this, and then Alex just like pushed him off. He like pushed him away. He's like, "Don't stop this fight." And then within seconds, like the next punch he did was like left hook, knocked out Jamal Hill, dude. What a crazy night. What a great fight, dude. I can't believe I watched UFC for like 5 minutes straight. It was insane. It was insane, dude. Which makes me think, like, should I invest in the UFC? You know, the UFC is a joint venture with wrestling WWE or WWF, wherever they're called now, and market cap is about 16 billion. Endeavor owns about 51% of it, and I'm like, dude, is the UFC worth $8 to $16 billion? Like, I don't know. Like, I think the average NBA team is like probably like 6 to 8 billion. NFL teams are probably like $10 billion. And I'm like, is the UFC brand $16 billion worth? And it might be, but I just can't get myself to buy it, which is dumb. I could have bought this when it was like $12 billion. Not the whole thing, you know what I mean? But like shares in the company. And I think I might have to buy it, but like $16 billion is like a lot. But one thing, I think there might be a chance that they might get taken private, or someone might buy Endeavor's share. Like, I've been seeing Mark Zuckerberg at these UFC events, and I'm like, maybe Zuckerberg could just buy the UFC. You mean, like, how much did Elon pay for Twitter? How much did Elon pay for Twitter? Let's see this. Dude, Elon paid $44 billion for Twitter. Yeah, dude, Mark Zuckerberg could definitely buy the UFC and the wrestling for $16 billion. And I'm guessing the guy who's the CEO of Endeavor, I forgot his name, but he's like a powerful agent. You know, I think the character Ari Gold in Entourage was based off him. Like, this guy's a smart guy, dude, and I think he's trying to flip it or try to sell their stake at least to someone at some point, or spin off UFC to their own. And I could totally see Mark Zuckerberg putting some money in for $16 billion. Should about a UFC and the WWE. WWE is on Netflix right now, and it's, you know what? I think tomorrow, Monday, I'm gonna buy some shares in TKO, which is UFC. And if I don't do it next week, then I'm all talk. I'm all talk, and I'm a loser, guys. But I think I'm just gonna end it there. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. Please subscribe to everything: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this. Give me a like. Leave a comment if you like me, hate me, or whatever. And check out my blog also. All right, dudes. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.